אנחנו אומרים שלום לקפטן, מכבי תל אביב. הופ, ראית איך הוא הזדקף?
ישר הוא הזדקף.
ג'ון די ברטולומיאו, היי, שלום.
היי, how are you?
מה נשמע?
הכל בסדר.
הכל בסדר. That's all you got right now, still,
I got a
huh?
couple words, but
6, 8, 12?
more or less.
אוקיי.
It's enough, I think.
כן, בסדר, בסדר.
enough.
לאט לאט, לאט לאט. Only 4 or 5 years in Israel, so
Exactly.
a word a year. אלוף טרי, צריך לומר, מכבי תל אביב זכתה. Obviously, we covered all the games. We watched this season. I calculated today the 70th game of Maccabi Tel Aviv this season, not including some games of the preseason. 70 games, which is like an NBA season.
He looks in shock.
Yeah.
I didn't have the full count.
So, how do you sum up this roller coaster?
I think roller coaster is a pretty good word. It was a marathon this year. Obviously, we didn't get off to the best start as a team, specifically in the EuroLeague. It took us some time, I think, to find our way. Overall, I think we need to look at the season in a positive way. We ended it on the right foot. I think we won 10, 12 games to end the season, which is, always impressive. You always want to be playing your best basketball as you progress, and I think that's really important. And at the end of the day, I think we won more games this year than last year, and I think as long as we're on the upward trend, and next year even better.
Is that a part of the net?
It is. Otherwise, you lose.
וואו, כן, הוא קשר פה חתיכה מהרשת של האליפות. למי שפספס, אז הנה, רשת של האליפות, של הסל.
But Jody, if we're talking about the championship, it seems it was more a relief than happiness after such a long year when you lost the cup and also in the EuroLeague.
I mean, yes, I guess that is one way to look at it. There's always pressure, I think, especially in big clubs like Maccabi to win championships. And as I said, we struggled in the EuroLeague. We weren't able to make the playoffs, which is a goal of ours. And then we had a very poor showing in both cups. So it was definitely important to us to end the note with to end on a high note with the championship. But again, even when you, I think, cross off goals throughout the year, I think it's always important to end with a championship.
Quick translation, אז אומר ג'ון די ברטולומיאו, כן, העונה הזאת לא נפתחה כמו שצריך, וגם לא נמשכה מי יודע מה עם היורוליג, וכשהוא מסתכל לאחור, כן, יש סיכוי שברכבת הערים הזאת, או במרתון הזה, האליפות נלקחה והייתה יותר הקלה מאשר שמחה, יש המון לחץ בקבוצה הזאת, אבל הוא כן רואה כאן סימן חיובי, עם רצף הניצחונות הזה עוד מהליגה אל תוך הפלייאוף ועד הגמר, והוא מתייחס לזה כאל דבר מצוין, וכן, נראה אם מכבי תל אביב תוכל להשתמש בדבר הזה גם לבניית מומנטום לעונה הבאה.
חלוטין.
You didn't mourn the change on the lines between Spachia and the new coach, the Greek coach, Sferopoulos, that gave you a lot of trust and extended minutes. So how do you see this change, this balance under both coaches?
Well, first off, I don't think you can really, whether your relationship with any coach, I don't think you can mourn the passing of a coach in the middle of the season. Obviously, we had a lot of work to do when the switch was made. I think.
Did you feel more comfortable under the new coach? Would that be a legitimate assessment?
I mean, I guess in some ways, yes. All coaches have different styles. That's not to say one is better than the other. Giannis is a coach in the way he operates. I think is more. It's a style I'm more comfortable with and I'm more used to. And I think at the end of the day, it's the players who have to show up and play well. But Giannis, I will say he gave me.
He credits hard workers a little bit more. Would that be accurate?
I mean, I think I don't know if that's accurate to say. Nevin, I think would be the same way. Giannis, I think that's in a way he operates. He strikes me at least as a workaholic. He's coming to work every day. He's extremely detail oriented, and I think he expects that from his players, and he appreciates that.
אוקיי, אז תרגום קצר?
כן, תרגם.
אז כן, יש לא הייתה לנו פריבילגיה תוך כדי העונה להתאבל על לכתו של המאמן הקודם, אבל כן, יכול להיות שיותר התחברתי לסטייל של ספרופולוס מאשר בהשוואה לתקופה של ספחיה, קטע סגנוני, לאו דווקא קשור למי עובד יותר קשה, אבל הוא אומר על ספרופולוס, זה וורקהוליק מטורף, שמגיע לעבודה מוקדם והולך מאוחר וכולי, וכן, הדבר הזה בא לידי ביטוי גם בתפקיד יותר משמעותי לדי ברטולומיאו תחת המאמן היווני.
Your coach said that the Final Four system can ruin the whole season. You agree with that?
Ruin is a strong. Yeah, I mean, in a way, yes.
You almost lost to a lot, you know.
Of course, I mean, and I think that's the issue with the Final Four system is, you know, we're playing 9-10 months. You're working all year to get to this point. You know, people love the playoffs. Players want to play in the playoffs. You know, I think fans enjoy the playoffs more. I think it's fun to see more playoff games. And, you know, I think that's also the reason we have, you know, like the cup, single elimination, anybody can win, and I get that, you know, at the end of the season, championship, we were working all year for this.
Same applies to EuroLeague, though.
For sure. I don't know the logistics of if the EuroLeague were to move to a different format where they would play series every single round. I don't know if
it used to happen in the past, but yeah.
I didn't know that. Since I follow the EuroLeague, I've only seen Final Fours. You know, I've never been to one. It looks like an amazing spectacle. They pick one location like that, all the teams coming in. But you know, I can't really comment on the EuroLeague system like that.
What is it like to be a player in Maccabi Tel Aviv? When you look at this season, we mentioned the 70 games. It was really crazy. All the injuries, the fact that, you know, you have to fly so much and be in extreme focus the whole time, control the league, at least be competitive in the EuroLeague. Mm-hmm. What's it like for you as a human being, as a basketball player?
I mean, I enjoy it. At the end of the day, you know, we're professionals, we're basketball players. This is what we do. This is what we enjoy to do. You know, it's before Maccabi, I never played in a team who got to play so many games so often. So that was, you know, a pleasure for me. I enjoy, for the most part, the road trips, the games, the preparation. You know, it's something, you know, and I think all players have worked for their whole life. Even before we were professional basketball players, I think we treated basketball like it was our job and it was our passion. And I think, you know, we're rewarded for being able to do it now. There are times, like you said, it gets a little exhausting. That's with anything. But in the end, I think it's worth it.
It surely helps you to stop playing EuroLeague at the end of this season.
Say it again?
You guys were a lot fresher due to the fact that you stopped playing in EuroLeague at the end of this season.
Maybe. We finished this season strong, I will say that. But I wouldn't trade that to, you know, I think we all would have preferred to be playing the EuroLeague for as long as we can, and we would make the adjustments necessary to finish the season on a strong note in both leagues.
Daniel say that you play 70 games in a row, like the whole season.
Yeah.
Maybe the roster is not good enough for everything, for Europe and for the Israeli league?
I mean, obviously I think we have a good enough team to be successful in both leagues.
What didn't work then in Europe?
I mean, I think it was a combination of things. I think the start to the season we had a very tough draw. I think we had 6 of 9 on the road, and our 3 home games, which, you know, you really have to get, were against three of the top teams in the EuroLeague. You know, I think you play them at different times. Something might happen, but, you know, one thing leads to another, and we had some bad momentum. You combine that with the injury of Pargo, who at the beginning of the season we were depending on a lot for a large portion of our offense was Jeremy and his creativeness and creating for, you know, everybody. So we definitely lacked him, and we didn't make the adjustments necessary, and that's from top down. You know, I think players weren't playing their best to start the season. I think a lot of guys were on an upward trend towards the end, and we dug ourselves too big of a hole. But I think if I were to sum up the whole EuroLeague season, I think we proved that we can play with all the teams and we can be in the top 8 with the roster that we have.
I want to ask you about your personal career. Okay. You've had, maybe due to the fact that people look at you and put a glass ceiling on your abilities, you had a rough start maybe. You played Division III in college, you played Division III in Spanish League.
Right.
And every year you seem to be improving, which makes the fans crazy about you, and also maybe people stop misjudging you and say, okay, this guy can play. He should play EuroLeague. He should play league, etc.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a unique story, I guess.
You're not a prince, a basketball prince. Like you're not.
Right, coming from the top and always being in the best.
Yeah.
Hard worker, that's what he is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a position that just at this point I'm comfortable with and I flourish in. I like being underestimated.
Do you like when people say
I like being underestimated as opposed
he's
to
small, not
overestimated.
athletic enough, all that stuff?
Yeah, that stuff
He's
doesn't
too short.
I'd rather be, like I said, underestimated than overestimated, I think. I think that's a position I'm more comfortable with, and I guess I've been able to be successful in.
But the spot's still on you,
Say again?
The spot's still on you.
What do you mean the spot's still on me? Sorry.
To deliver.
Yeah,
In
absolutely.
Europe as well.
Absolutely, but that's something you work for, and you want the opportunity to be able to deliver. You work your whole life to get to a point where, and at every stage, I think there will be doubters and people will challenge you, and that as long as you approach them in the right way, I think it can only make you better.
Obviously, some of the stuff is management and coaching, but what did you learn from this year in EuroLeague?
In EuroLeague?
Yeah.
I think, first of all, how important each game is. From the start till finish, every game, every practice, you really need to be ready. It came down to we missed the EuroLeague playoffs by I think a game and a half, depending on tiebreakers, and I think it really shows that you can't have any lapses during the season. There's not a lot of difference between the teams. It's going to be so tight when it comes down to it, and I think it's an important lesson for me, for the team going forward, not to take any team lightly, not to take any days off, and not drop any opportunities.
אז ג'ון דיברטולומיאו מדבר על כך שבעונה הזאת הוא למד שאין מקום לזרוק במרכאות, כלומר, לזרוק זה יצא תרתי משמע, אני מחפש ניסוח אחר. אין מקום שבו אתה יכול לא להשקיע, כי כל משחק קובע, ובסוף גם ראינו, מכבי תל אביב הייתה משחק או משחק וחצי, תלוי בראש מול הקבוצות האחרות ובטבלאות הפנימיות, גם להפיל ולהיות בשמינייה בסופו של דבר, ואז אולי גם אנחנו היינו מתייחסים לעונה הזאת אחרת, ונוח לו להיות בעמדה של האנדרדוג, בזה שאומרים שהוא לא מספיק גבוה, לא מספיק אתלטי, להיות ברמות האלה, והוא נהנה להיות במקום הזה, זאת המסקנה שלו. You're about to turn 28 this Thursday,
Yes,
I think.
yeah.
So, Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Any big plans?
No.
Besides the new dog?
The new dog was
He knows everything.
a couple months
He knows
ago.
everything.
No, the new dog was a couple months ago. No big plans. I fly back to the States tomorrow night. So I'll have family dinner, and then we go for a family trip. Maybe do some celebrating there, but no big plans. I can't believe I'll be 28.
Yeah, that's very old. That's very
So
old.
he's 20.
Yeah.
If we're looking for the next season, do you think you deserve to get more minutes in EuroLeague?
I hope so. I hope I have an opportunity to get a bigger role. But at the end of the day, I'm a team first guy, and whatever is asked of me to make our team better is the role I'll do my best to fulfill. The thing with this coach, I think him so more than others is he plays a deep rotation. He shows that he will give opportunity to whoever he feels deserves it and is ready. He tells guys to be ready all the time, and I think I need to do my best to take advantage when those opportunities are given, and I think I'll be rewarded for that.
In general, do you prefer starting five or coming off the bench?
Honestly, I used to have a preference, before I came to Israel. In fact, I was always in the starting lineup, from college to when I played in Spain. I had to make that switch when I started playing for Haifa, when I was playing behind, Gregory Vargas. And it was tough for me at first. Since then, I've adapted. Now I don't really have a preference. I think every player, especially at this level, needs to be adaptable and find ways to be successful in whatever form the team is taking.
I want to ask you about Scotty Wilbekin, because he was brought as a very expensive player to Maccabi Tel Aviv, and they imagine that he will be the leader of this team in terms of success in Europe. Mm-hmm. But it seemed to us in some of the games that he wasn't built to being this guy to get the ball, tell everyone to move, and just take it on himself. Do you think you'll be more comfortable playing the two and not the go-to guy, the decision maker?
First off, I think Scotty's a great player. I think he is a leader. I think as the season progressed, he was another one of those guys who was on an upward trend. I think next year he'll only be better now coming back. Same coach, same system. I think he's one of those kind of guys. I think he's a combo guard. I think he can play on and off the ball depending on the flow of the game, depending on how he's feeling. He's made big plays for us down the stretch with the ball. You know, the Olympiacos game I can think of. Sure, sometimes I don't remember which game it was. He didn't make the play, but you know that happens. Big players and guys who step up are going to be successful sometimes and sometimes not. I think he has the tools to be a point guard. I also think he is dynamic enough of a scorer to play off the ball. I think that's what makes him, you know, such a valuable player, especially for us. So, to answer your question, yes, I think he'll be great off the ball as well.
Quick translation. אז כן, ג'ון דיברטולומיאו מחמיא לסקוטי ווילבקין ואומר שהוא דווקא היה שם במאני טיים של העונה בשביל הקבוצה, והוא יכול לשחק בשתי העמדות, הוא גם כמקבל החלטות וגם בעצם כזה שמקבל את הכדורים והזורק. מעבר לכך, כשהוא מתייחס לעונה הזאת ולעונה הבאה, יש לו תקוות, ולא ממש משנה לו אם הוא בא מהספסל. בעבר הוא היה רגיל לעלות בחמישייה, ואחרי שבמכבי חיפה עבר להיות זה שעולה במקומו של גרגורי ורגס, בהתחלה היה לו קשה להתאקלם, אבל למד לאהוב גם את הדבר הזה כחלק מהמשחק שלו.